I don't think I ever said it to that, but okay. Welcome back to the Build Show. I'm your host over here at the Empower Gaming Studio. And tonight, we're building an already built PC. Honestly, I have no idea why I'm doing this. But I guess it's for you, Anthony. Literally, it is already built, and he did a good job on it. So, I'm here just to put the graphics card in and install the SSD, and then, of course, do the software side of it, install Windows and all that. So it's going to be a quick one. Yeah. Yeah, he did a pretty good job. To be honest, one thing I will call out is when I pulled this out, the screen was dangling and kind of doing its own thing. So during transport, this came off. So I think during transport, if you even wanted to remove this, you could. Since it's so easy to access the case, I know my face is in the way. Let me move my big fat head out of the way. So the screen popped off and was just dangling. So rather than it damaging its port by dangling by the wire, we can either put something in here to hold it in place, or we could just simply take it out during transport, because it's very easy to pop off. Even though it is magnetic, it does like to move. But if you aren't familiar with this case, because I haven't built in it, and I really do like the brand, the biggest problem with the brand is the cost. And at that point, when I get into the cost that these cases cost, I start looking more towards that Lian Li or something. Yeah, you could tape it down or something. He's a local customer, so he dropped this off earlier today, and he's like, yeah, just put the card in. And he was actually one of the few lucky persons in the Empower Gaming community who got to purchase one of the 990 Pros at a discounted price. So we do have, because I got a few of these, he was one of the few lucky persons that got one at a very nice price. What did I say it was, like 200 something? $200? So a 2 terabyte 990 Pro for $200 in February, end of February 2026 is a very good price. So he was gonna have me put the storage in, and also he picked up the graphics card, which the graphics card we're going to be installing is the Sapphire Nitro Plus 9070 XT. This is a behemoth that takes the 16-pin 12-volt high-power connector, which he's already got. Literally, I didn't do this, guys, but it's as if I did. He's got it wired up here, ready to go. I mean, like I said, I don't know why I'm doing this. He's pretty much just as good as a builder as me, I would say. We do have some fingerprints here that I would call out, but outside of the fingerprints, you did a very good job. So, kudos to you. Give yourself a pat on the back, and next time, just build it yourself. You don't need me, but no, you did a really good job on this. It looks nice. All the fans look beautiful. All the right fans in the right places. Yeah, I'll just leave it off and put it on when I'm home. Yeah, that's what I think I would recommend, so it doesn't become a piece of shrapnel inside the case or damage the screen, you know. That's one thing we don't want to do. It even left some rubbing here on the metal, which will buff out marks on the heatsink there. But yeah, it looks nice, man. Did a really good job. I even see it looks like he's zip tied down here. Either that or Thermalright did that. Not sure. Somebody did. A lot of attention to detail in the build. So, like I said, I don't know what I'm here for. Not sure what I'm here to do. There are hidden ones above the motherboard. Hidden ones above the motherboard. What do you mean by that? Oh, yeah. Rubbing marks up there as well. Not sure what that was from, or if it was from this. And yeah, these cables are really nice, like you were talking about, from this platinum power supply from Leon Lee. Which, guys, this case is super over-engineered. Where's my controls? I need to get a little zoom out here, see what we're doing. But this case is super nice. Like, the top just comes off with the little push clips. Simple. Very, very easy to work in case. I can foresee this being a really nice case to build in. Oh. The back panels, if we look on the back side of the case here, there's these little push buttons that you push in, and that releases the panels, which is really nice. Oh. And then we've got a really clean cover, cable cover, to hide the cable madness. And what I do like about this is that it directs the airflow into the intake, and it keeps the dust out of your cables from the side, or will help minimize the dust coming in. Oh yeah, you said there's 2 fans on the back side. That's right. I did read that about this case. I was like, oh yeah, there's 2 fans in the back. But there's 2 fans on the back of this case as well. In addition to the 3 on the side, which are intake, 3 on the bottom, which are intake, the 2 on the rear, which are exhaust, and then the 3 on the radiator. You also have 2 fans right here on the back, which will help. The idea behind it is to help cool storage and also help cool your VRMs or the back of the motherboard to get some of that heat out of there. And these are supposed to be reversible. It looks like it is, but it helps draw some of the heat between. I'll show you on the other side right here. It's supposed to help draw some of this away. Like, or is it pulling air? It's either pushing air. I don't know. Is it pushing air in or pulling air out? Because those were reversed, but they were on backwards, it looked like. I don't know. It's kind of confusing there. So it almost looks like it's pushing air in, which is to put air onto the VRMs here, which is really cool. I do like that a lot. Not to mention, you have a VRM fan right here as well. I don't know if that's going to fight each other, but cool design. Yes. Yep. I did read that a while ago. Kind of just jogged my memory when I flipped it over and saw the fans there. Hey, Chefy Tech, it's your favorite brand, case brand. You love this case brand, don't you? At least I feel like you're one of the Johnsbo fans over here. Hey, what's up, Steve? Welcome back to the Build Show. Anthony, welcome back to the Build Show. John, welcome back to the Build Show. Detroit Truck Doctor. Ben, thank you, brother. Yeah, no problem, man. Welcome back to the Build Show, Mike. Roy, the Intel guy, welcome back to the Build Show. I do, yes. Well, that's the thing. I build in these cases more often, but they're not cheap. They're engineered beautifully. You know, what I would envision inside this particular case, a very good brand that would go in here is Asus Tough Series. It would go very well with the molding on the case. It would look really nice. And then the same I would use the same fans that he used here, which are the Thermalright Infinity fans, which only have the RGB on the outside and the outer rim of the fan, which is it's a nice touch. It's like sharp RGB versus just a blob of RGB. What's up, Kenneth? Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Chefy Tech over at Twitch said he's built in like 10 of the Z20s. Those are the smaller ones, right? I'll end up flipping them if they become a problem. I think you have them on the right way. Or is that how they came? Yeah, it's called a MOSFET and RAM AirGlide cover. MOSFET. Interesting name for it, but it is doing what it is intended to do. Sometimes English is difficult for me. So, hey Ben, everyone. Hello, Steve. It came with no fans, so you added those. Okay. I'm pretty sure you have them on the right way. Should be pushing air in, what I envision it doing. Pushing cool air into the VRM. What it should be doing. I don't think drawing air out is going to be the right move. Question, Ben, are you a fan of 3D? Am I a fan of 3D? You'll have to clarify what you mean by 3D. Are you talking about the X3D or the 3D V-Cache with AMD? Yes, I am 100% a fan of that. That's what you mean by that. Steve Anderson, I built 2 computers years ago for a friend. One Windows, one Linux, and the Windows one boots to the BIOS, not to the desktop. The Linux one boots right to the desktop. Interesting. Does that mean it's having some issues in comparison? Yeah, I think that's how you have them in there too, Anthony. When I had it flipped over, it's what it looked like. It looked right. It looked right, but we're not worried about the rear fans. Don't worry about them. I will play around with it. 3D movies. I don't know. I never really got into the 3D movie thing. Like, never became a thing for me. And then the VR stuff came out, and then I was like, oh, this is cool. So I play around with that, but that's about it. They are non-RGB fans that came on the AIO. That makes sense. Yeah, no, those are fine then. So that means it is pulling air. I don't know. I have to think about that because I've never had a case with fans on the back designed to draw air through there. I would think either intake or exhaust would work because as soon as the air comes up, it's going to get sucked out. Or if it's exhaust, it's just going to pull air through, which would work just fine too. I don't know. Either way, it's going to work or help. It'll help either way, in my opinion. I'll have to think about that. Never had a case with fans there before. First time. We'll need to wipe that down. Okay, so technically all we have to do physically in this build, because Anthony already did such a great job on the rest of the build, is put the SSD in and install the graphics card. The graphics card, the case does have its own support brackets, so we can utilize that. I do also have a Lian Li GB002 here if we need it. But I think our intent was to use the support bracket that comes with the case, which is right here. We just have to adjust it. The USB 3.0 connector might be a problem in this situation, because this is a pretty thick card. So first things first, let's get our SSD installed. What I want to do, get this installed, is actually verify if we're going to be putting it in these 3 slots or this top slot here. So let's go ahead and zoom in on the action. Blink. Yep. You can see all of Anthony's lovely fingerprints. Those are not mine. Not mine indeed. Not my fingerprints at all. Nope. I'll wipe them up, don't worry. We don't know which one we're putting this in. And it looks like this has been used before. Anthony, was this a used board? There is some remnants of usage on this. Custom, yes. Can we get those likes? Oh, thanks, John, for the recommendations there. It was a long time ago. Windows was probably needed a couple thousand updates. He has not turned it on in years. Oh yeah, probably not in good shape. But it should have still booted as long as the hardware works, right? Alright, so with this being a Gen 4 drive, I remember on these boards. This is an X870E. I'm pretty sure we either put it in this top slot or this middle slot. I'm pretty sure. And the reason why is because this is a Gen 5 slot. We don't necessarily need a Gen 5 slot. And if we put it in this slot, then we impact the performance on the graphics card slot, which we don't want to do. So I think this is the right slot that we have to put it in, but I'm going to double verify real quick by looking up the motherboard specs and verifying that this is not sharing any bandwidth with this and that neither of these are the right options. We'll double check that. I'll be right back. Sip my Coke. My Coke? You guys see this, right? Okay, there's the desk mic. You guys see this, right? Here, let me zoom in for you. It says, when the or the M2B CPU or M2C CPU connector is populated, the PCIe X16 slot operates at X8 mode. So this is the type of stuff you guys got to look for when you're putting your SSD in. You don't want to put it in a slot that's going to impact your GPU slot, right? So we want to avoid the M2C and M2B. So it is this middle slot, like I was calling out. We can put it in the top slot, but that would be wasting a PCIe 8 or a PCIe 5 slot. So the middle slot is the right slot to put it in. Because of what it says there. Good, good. So that is why you always check that. My first build, so was nervous. That's why I brought it to you. Double check me, LOL. What do you want me to do? I mean, it looks fine. We'll find out when we hit the power button, shall we? Hey, what's up, Kraken? Welcome back to the build show. Wow, this build is so close to yours. Nice. You did a similar build. So we're going to be putting it in this middle slot versus these two. These two slots right here will impact the performance of this X16 slot. We could put it in the top slot, but that is a Gen 5 slot, and we don't have a Gen 5 drive. There is no point on filling out a Gen 5 slot with a Gen 4 drive right now. Even though it is backwards compatible, it would work at Gen 4 speed. We're just going to put it in the bottom one, leaving this open for future drives for them. Thermal paste is probably crusty. Steve, are you talking about on the builds that you did for your buddy? Yeah, probably. I actually just opened up a RTX 3060 Ti that's been in service for about 3 years. That was running a little warm, and that thermal paste was toasty. Very crusty. So I repasted it in hopes that it would help the issues that we were having with the card, and it did not seem to resolve the issue. So I have a feel I did a DDU hoping maybe it's driver related, but I don't think it is. I think they're gonna have to come back and replace the card, which is what I advised. They wanted to avoid the expense of the new card if they could. We'll see what happens, but that was earlier today that I worked on that. And then I had another rig in here with a 3080, also most likely from heat temperature, because I don't think it was the maintained the greatest, meaning when I opened it up, the radiator was caked in dust. Like, there was no exhaust in the system, it seemed like, and the 3080 started going to a black screen on him, or causing the computer to reboot every now and then eventually it just stopped working entirely. So we brought it over, we put a 5070 in there to replace the 3080, and that worked out great. So that was a pretty easy fix as well. Other than the expense of the 3080, or the 5070, and the loss of the 3080, which is, you know, terrible, but it worked out in the end. You know, I like these plate designs by Gigabyte, but I also hate them at the same time. Sometimes they're a little finicky. Okay, so now with the SSD installed, we can go ahead and drop the card in. It looks like we're going to need a little bit more length on the power cable, and we also might need to adjust this bracket, and the USB 3 might be in the way for it. So let's get the card out and see what we have to do here. I think I want to come around the top of the card, get this plugged in, versus coming around the bottom. I think that would be a little more ideal. Let's see if we got the zip tied in the back or something. Oh, where'd my screwdriver go? I must have another one of my drivers on another bench somewhere, because this is not the one I was going to use. But oh well. It'll work. Yep. Okay. Pretty clean cable management back here, and yes, we do have this zip tied, so I'm glad I didn't just try to pull on it. Looked. Give that a little snippy. More zip ties on it. I don't know how much we're going to need, but I just want the freedom of the cable. Don't worry, I'll zip tie this back up for you. Plenty of cable. I just want to have it freed up so I can maneuver it where I want it. And then this. Also going to unplug our USB 3.0 cable temporarily so that we can adjust the support bracket as needed without the USB 3 in the way, and then we'll find out what we have to do with that next. Okay. With that, we can maneuver or remove these back plates. I'm pretty sure this card is a 3-slot card. I'm going to remove 2 and pull the card out and double check. Can't remember, even though I built with a few of them. What's up, Tony? Thank you for the... it's been 7 months already. Wow, yes. It's been a while, man. Thank you for the sub over there on YouTube, David. Why didn't you guys tell me that I was muted that whole time? And then also, why didn't you tell me I was zoomed in so far the whole time? Gosh. Tony says it keeps freezing up over there on Kick. Huh. Well, let's go taking a little peeky. A little bit of... Nope, no lag. I got nothing going on here on my end. Everything looks good. CPU looks good. I was having some internet problems. A couple... Animated upstream cargo. I was having some internet issues a couple days ago, but I think I resolved those. Can't hear anything. Ah! Well, I mean, I was muted there for half a minute. Okay, yeah, I don't see any problems on my end, other than I was an idiot and had the microphone muted for a little bit. Okay. Anyway, I was talking about how this could be a 3-card slot, and then I was talking about this and that and the other thing, but who cares? We're moving on. So now we're going to get the card installed. Oh, and I was talking about the accessories box and the fact that this has an addressable RGB sync cable, which does plug in right here at the back of the card, as well as the 12-volt high-power connector. Now, I am not the biggest fan of them putting this foam crap here in a way to help kind of protect melting of the cables, which is obviously a good idea, but the fact that that's here is going to reduce the airflow, and I think this whole design should be thought a little better. You wasted a bunch of money on a cooling solution on this side of the card. Why not just extend these to the back of the card and just plug them into the back of the card at that point, or on the side here? Because at this point it's meh, I don't like it. There's one thing I didn't like about the card. Other than that, it's an amazing card. But that's just Ben complaining about something. Ben complains about everything. Okay. And it is a 3-slot card, for the record. So I do have to take one more of these thingamaboppers out. You know, kind of a beast of a card. feel like Tim Allen. Oh, 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 oh. He's a beast. All right, so now that I've got the vertical, or I'm sorry, not the vertical, the GPU bracket in place, I'm going to somehow thread the needle and get this USB 3.0 connector back in there with minimal light and minimal visibility. Hopefully I don't bend anything. You know, sometimes we need to just not force it. Get a little light on the subject here. I was trying to be like Luke Skywalker and use the Force, but don't think I'm going to thread that needle. He only had one hole he had to deal with. I had 19. Okay. Pull this RGB cable through, which is the sync cable. What this is going to allow us to do is connect it to the RGB software of the Gigabyte Control Center from the motherboard and allow that to control the RGB versus having to download the Sapphire software and run that, which is, gosh, I forget the name of it. Push this cable comb around so it's actually used in a nice spot. So this is what we're going to deal with it. Now, we've got our power cord and our RGB sync cable in place here. We're not bending any pins or yanking on the cable. We are clear to put this back plate on. We can go ahead and do. I'll rest the case there. It is a magnetic connection. And voila. It's a graphics card. 12 by 4, you mean? 16 pin. It's 16 pin, but yes, 12 plus 4. Let's see here. 16 plus, oh, you're talking about ONRA. I don't like the 16 by 2. It's 12 plus 4 pin. Which is 16 pin total. There's a total of 16 pins on that cable, but it can be an orientation of just 12 pins. So be careful. You're using old adapters. It's very easy to mistake that. Tony says, I'm late or you're early. I was playing Hogwarts. It's pretty cool. Yeah, no. This PC was already pretty much built, Tony. Do not worry. You didn't miss anything. Anthony actually pretty much assembled the entire build because he was so excited as he was getting all his parts. He was ordering it up and he was going to bring it all over for me to do the entire build, but he was excited and started doing the build himself, which I don't blame him. I would have done it, and he did a very good job on it. But he still brought it to me to put the graphics card in and install the SSD, and then we're going to install Windows and all the drivers, do the BIOS update, make sure Expo is set, make sure Secure Boot is set, play with the fans, get some of the performance stuff down, and then do some benchmarks on it and get a little burn in on the card, you know? Nothing like a little bit of burn in on a fresh GPU. Love the smell of the fresh GPU burning in. Oh, what's up? You almost had it. Literally, story of my life, by the way. What card? This is the 9070 XT AMD Radeon, and it is the Sapphire Nitro Plus. Killa, what's up, man? Welcome back to the Build Show over there on the Kick side as well. Also, over on Twitch. What's up, Killa? I have 24 grams of the MX7 coming in the morning. Oh, nice. There's nothing like a gram of thermal paste in the morning. Start the day. No? Nobody laughs? I don't use creamer in my coffee. I use thermal paste. Do not use thermal paste in your coffee as a creamer supplement. It is not a creamer supplement. It is a terrible idea. In fact, it might hurt you. Don't do it. Anyway, we have a wonderful build built. That is literally the stream. Took me 45 minutes to install an SSD and a graphics card properly, as I would say. We gotta do something about that, guys. That's taking way too long. So let's wipe her down, button her up. We will restore her natural beauty. Oh, and we have to deal with an RGB cable. I have no idea where any of the RGB connectors are at this point in this build. I didn't build it. I did notice we have one up here. We have one addressable RGB up here. There's no way in hell I'm going down there. That was a stupid idea to put the card in and then try to plan this out. So maybe it's going to take an hour and a half. I'm joking. What we can do is run this around like so, around this wonderful power cord, and get this up here, maybe somewhere. Is there a feeding spot up here somewhere? That's loose. Screw's not in there. Really noted. Okay. I almost want it to come up and around. The reason why I'm doing this is so I'm not blocking the debugger light. The cable. So I put it underneath the standoff, underneath the motherboard, and brought it up and around. But is it is a little sneaky trick if you got cables coming up on this side that you need to get to the top and you don't want to deal with up here. You can run it underneath the board and up and around like I just did. Nice and clean. I'll zoom in for you. What I'm talking about. We're not doing a whole lot in this build, but I snuck this cable around the board and it's coming down here actually, right here somewhere. Hit it so good I can't even find it. Right here. So it goes underneath the board, around the standoff to the top, and then I just tuck it underneath the 24 pin, and then it's like it's never there. But the reason why I did that is because it would cover the LED debugger. LED debugger. Bugger DLE. What's up, Loop? Welcome back to the build stream, the build show. Whoa, what GPU is that? This is the 9070 XT Nitro Plus by Sapphire. So it's AMD Radeon graphics card. It's the behemoth flagship of the 9070 XT lineup. Wow, I cannot talk today. So, nice RGB strip right here on the bottom of the card. Very nice looking. We've got our GPU support bracket in, which I do need to tap with the screwdriver just to make sure it's tightened up. Give it a little snug. Make sure it doesn't move. Go. And then we button these up. Well, I took my advice and put the cables in. Future storage. Alright, where's my fancy? I would say he did an excellent job on the cable management. Of course, we're not dissecting it tonight. Finding out the sins of a builder. That would actually be a really cool series, just dissect the build and call out the sins of a builder. And then I'd like somebody to do it to me. Of course. Naturally. I'm sure I have sins. The card looks awesome. I'm jealous. I got the Challenger. It is a much more expensive version of the card. And we were very fortunate where I came across a good Amazon deal. I think that's the one that he got for the price that he got it for. I'd give you an A+, Anthony. You did a pretty good job. Always a good thing. Well, I'm not doing that tonight. Kidding me, guys? We could go play Arc Raiders before midnight? Get destroyed by a bunch of little kids that are hacking in game that don't care about their accounts getting banned. Sounds like a blast to me. Pretty cool looking, not gonna lie. Kind of reminds me of one of those like old school ammunition battle looking Thermaltake cases. That's why I think Asus Tough inside this case would look really nice. Oh yeah. You guys ready to fire this thing up? Mostly, minus the GPU and storage, lol. Yes, Anthony built it over there in the YouTube chat. Happy Saturday, Killer. Yes, yes, yes. Happy Saturday. I got mine for 600 at the time. Yeah, this one he got, I think, for around 600, 699, something like that. I can't remember the exact price, but it was a decent price for this card. Hell yeah. Hey man, you did an amazing job. Yes, he did. Like I said, I don't even know why I'm doing this. He should have just finished it. But no, I appreciate it. He gave me content to put up here for you guys. That's the real reason why he wanted to get it on the show. Show it off. And if he did something wrong and I plug it in and fire it up and it blows up, it's my fault. You know, that type of thing. Ah, Ben, look, you messed up. Don't want to accidentally fire it up. Holy crap. I was wiping the front panel and accidentally fired it up. Okay. I can't really take credit on this build, to be honest. Anthony, are you ready to do the honors? Let me know when you're ready. We'll punch it. Oh yeah, you could build a really nice PC for $2,500 right now. This might not be a RTX 5080 or a 5090, but you could build a really nice one. Oh yeah, the 5900X is still a really good CPU. Is TechByte a good website to buy a PC from? I've actually never heard of them. Mr. Feastick. Feastick. I think that's Fiastic. You're Canadian. Yeah, that's probably why I've never heard of them, because I'm in the United States, so I don't know. I don't know them. But if you want to join the Discord channel and drop the link in there, and you want somebody that knows PCs to vet something you're looking at, you're welcome to do that. I don't mind doing that. So, !Discord if you'd like to drop that link in there. And then somebody will tell you whether or not it's a good buy or not. And I would definitely advise you, if you're Canadian, not to buy from me, because there will be tariffs at the border. Buy something within Canada. All right, Anthony, we're waiting on you, man. Let me know when you're ready to punch this button. Y'all ready for this? How many watts is the Lian Li? At Lian Li, you know what I mean, Lian Li. So this power supply is 1200 watts. Wanted them to stay happy without breaking the bank. That was a good call. Ian, very nice of you too. I mixed skills, but I prefer to build my own always. Send my buddies who don't want to build to Java. You can send them over here. I'm not on Java. Honestly, the reason why I'm not on Java is because of their fees. Their fees are insane. It would make me have to increase, like if I wanted the same margin that I could get without Java, I would have to increase my price on Java, and then nobody would ever want to buy from me because they're so much more expensive. It's just, so at that point I'm like, just cut, the Java's just a middleman. That's all they are. I've got a lot of reviews, so hopefully that takes some of the credibility and is useful. 16 gigabytes. I'm looking at the 9060 OCE GPU. Loop says 449. Yeah, it's just, oh, it's so hard for me to look at a 9060 16 gigabyte for $449, because just before Christmas they were like $350, and now they're like, you know, 450, 500. I just found you. I'll send people to you. No worries, man. Yeah, if somebody's looking for a custom build, I can help them with that. That's what I specialize in. I do have some cookie cutter builds on my website, but my website is not perfect. It's not always up-to-date pricing, so usually I can build something custom better for a better price than what I have on my website. And even sometimes when somebody buys something on my website, I'll be like, whoa, this is way overpriced. Instead of a 5060, I can actually get them a 5070, and I'll do that for them within the margin, because I'm too stupid and honest. I'm not a businessman. Anthony says, hit that button. Where is the button? There it is. We found it. It's okay. We punched it. Turn it on already. He's ready. Okay, here we go. We have 0 RGB in the fans, but I think that's because we're waiting for the motherboard to post. Still no RGB. I didn't put these fans in, for the record. And no mousy mouse. Anthony, how'd you plug in the RGB? It is on, by the way. And it did post. So, what's going on with the RGB, Anthony? Where do you have it plugged in? Did you use a hub in the back, Anthony, or did you plug it directly into the motherboard? Why isn't this mouse working? Okay, that USB port does not want to work with the mouse for some reason. Interesting. Yes, care to explain, Anthony? I have them plugged into the motherboard at the bottom. Is it all at the bottom of the motherboard? Because that's the only port that I didn't really get to look at. We'll have to take a look at that because we should have RGB here right now. I'm going to factory reset the board and just in the BIOS and see if that does anything. Load optimize defaults. Yes. Save and exit. Yes. Well, then they should be powering on, unless we have too many in a chain. But I think this board has 2 ports at the bottom, and you probably utilized both of them, I'm assuming, right? Or did you daisy chain them all? Okay, we'll figure this out. We're going to go back to a top-down screen camera, and we're going to look into the RGB issues, which will require the graphics card to come out. Can't get down there. My fingers, I got fat fingers. Can't reach that. Darn it, I thought I was going to be able to go start Arc Raiders in 30 minutes. Get some raids in, you know. Good news is the screen powered up, so that means that's plugged in. Great. All right. Dealt with this beforehand. That was almost dumb. Okay, we got 2 plugged in here. We got no life on the RGB, but both of these cables are plugged in down here, which I have no idea where they go. They're both plugged in right. I wonder if... This was a used board, wasn't it? Was this a used board, Anthony? Or an open box board? Because you said you had a deal on it, and I did notice that the slot was definitely used previously. That PCIe 5 slot at the top was used. Yes, open box. Okay. What we're going to do, this is probably why it got sent back. We're going to do a firmware upgrade on the LED RGB once we get Windows installed, and then I'll probably solve this problem. We'll flash the RGB thingamabopper with gigabytes of crap. It'll probably solve the problem. Or it's disabled. meaning the previous owner that had the board disabled the RGB from the Gigabyte Control Center before they put it back in the box. That's another possibility. I don't think there's any physical switch on this board. Let me double check the manual. Yeah, there is zero switch on the board that manually shuts it off. So, plug back in. Windows installed. Try to solve this. We're gonna do a BIOS update on it actually first. Forgot to plug the graphics card power back in. Nobody called that out? Come on. TJ Wolf, what's up, man? Welcome to the Build Show. Did I miss anybody else? IMIX. You've been here for a little while, but welcome back to the Build Show. I'm gonna go get a beer. Get a beer. That's the one you got? You love it? Yes. I really like the case. I do too. It's a nice case. Somebody said, hey Ben, plug the power back into the graphics card. Yeah. All right. Let's get the BIOS downloaded and then we'll do the BIOS update. This is what I was talking about, guys, is the Gigabyte IT5711 RGB lighting controller firmware, which we have to run from Windows. It's like a command prompt batch file. So once we get Windows installed, we'll run that. gonna let me do the capture card? Let's see if it lets me do the capture card, guys. I might have to reboot it. Come on, capture card. Work for daddy. Oh, it's doing something. What is this? What the hell? Why is it doing that? What did I miss? I don't know what's going on here, but all of a sudden we're not able to make it to the BIOS. We're doing whatever the hell this is. UEFI. Is it because of the USB? Let's reboot. Might be because of the USB. Press escape. I know. I tried. It wouldn't do anything. Blah! There we go. I guess you have to tap delete. That was it trying to boot to something, which is the USB drive. I have no idea. Oh well. Hope we have the right revision of the board. So we're going from, oh, BIOS ID, check error. Amazing. What revision is this board? I love how it doesn't tell you what revision the board is in the BIOS. It is a secret in the bottom right corner of the board. Which is successfully covered up by the front panel HD audio. Alright, so we have the X870E Aorus Elite Wi-Fi 7. BIOS version is currently F8. Does not like the BIOS ID. Okay. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm glad I didn't use the Q flash and try to Q flash that, because I would have been obnoxious finding out that that didn't work. I was like, oh, we can show people Q flash. Anyway, it is revision 1.2. I just guessed, and I found the FA version from 2024, which is the original BIOS launched, by the way, by this motherboard. So Anthony, if you want to remember that, that is going to be important for future BIOS updates. You have revision 1.2 of this board. Gigabyte board, lower corner left. Yeah, I know, but it's covered up by the HD audio connector. You can't see it where the fans are in the graph. It's just impossible to see. So I guessed, and it worked. Let's see here. It's on release sale for $139.99, so get it soon. Oh, this board? I am Cleo. Oh, sorry, I missed your chat up there. Need help looking for a good 1440p monitor size, 27-inch, 32-inch for my buddy. I want to buy him an upgrade to make it feel more of a new PC. Any thoughts all? What's his current PC specs? Yeah, we're going to need a beer for this one, Tony. We are going to need a beer. I'm not going to drink and drive. Uh, 50%, boys. And then we'll do a Windows 11 home install. That's what Anthony bought. We're going to run a home install, and then we're going to try to update that firmware and get the Gigabyte Control Center on, installed and running. And then we'll see if we can actually control this. And I could actually show you guys the Thermalright screen stuff too, if you guys wanted to. I'm giving you guys more of a software stream than a hardware stream because Anthony already had this halfway built, or 99% built. Oh, you gave it. Oh, you gave him 5900X and the 6800X. Oh yeah. What monitor does he have right now? Because yeah, the 1440p monitor would help a lot with that build. If he has like a 1080p monitor. Like 1440p, like you said, 27 to 32 inches, 144 hertz and up would be a pretty nice monitor for that build. Software streams are very helpful. I appreciate it. Just some old 1080p, yeah. He will definitely notice a difference getting on 1440p. It'll be like a night and day difference, to be honest. But that's a solid rig that would handle 1440p, and I mean, you gave him all those parts. That is a he should be bringing you free beer for life. Yeah, there we go, Loop. We got it, we got it, we got it. I love Gigabyte. Yeah, sometimes it has its quirks, but this RGB issue that we're having is definitely... I love how we're just sitting in a black abyss. Where'd everything go? Oh, it's coming back. But anyway, the RGB issue is definitely related to the fact that this is an open box board, and that was probably why it got returned and then got overlooked by... That's the wrong one. So, whatever happened to this board, I think the RGB firmware needs to be reflashed or reinstalled. Okay. I was actually hoping that after doing that BIOS update that the RGB would just start magically working, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to have to get into Windows. Oh, nice. Can't do anything. Ah. We're just stuck here. Ah. $100 Hz? You're not using the full power of the 6800 XT. You could go to 144 Hz. But no, that's probably a really good deal on a 1440p panel. Got me anxious. Oh, well, we're gonna get through this, Anthony. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. The good news is that it's posting. So for an open box board, that's a good sign. I'm going to deal with your product key not on stream later, so we don't share that to the entire internet. I'm just going to tell it we're going to install Windows Home and punch that in later. And it's smart. You guys catch that? They probably returned it because the RGB didn't work. I think they screwed around with it and didn't know how to fix it. So on these Gigabyte boards, sometimes this will happen when you stick around with it. And then you will have to do that firmware upgrade to fix it. Thank you, Uncle Ben's JPN, for the follow over there on Twitch. Much appreciated. Now we watch a little bit of paint drying. Look at me over here. Oh, yeah. And then look at me right here. Yeah. Hello. This is fun. Good morning, good evening. How's it going? I'm assuming good morning, good evening means you are in a different continent. How's it going for you? Welcome to the Build Show. Asus TUF 32-inch curved gaming monitor. 1440p, 165 Hz. That's actually the exact monitor that I'm running, but it is 27 inches currently on my my rig, and I really enjoy that monitor. Although, after about, I guess we're about 4 years of service on that monitor, it randomly shuts off, but I can't tell if it's my power strip that I have it plugged into, which it might be, or and it's related to me bumping it with my feet randomly. It just will shut off, and then I have to turn it off and turn it back on. Just that one monitor out of the 3 that I have plugged in, so I know it's the monitor. You're up for us. It's morning, 3:55 a.m. Holy smokes. Good morning to you. Yes, it is 9:53 p.m. Eastern time over here in the United States. We're streaming late into the evening. Trying to get this PC's RGB functional after it was built by the owner, Anthony, mostly, and then I dropped the card and a graphics card and a SSD in it. Did a little bit of this and that, and here we are. But this is the PC that we are working on tonight, currently. Let's go back back to our capture card because we're getting ready for Windows to fire up for the first time. 5:53 p.m. here in Alaska, and it's probably still daylight out. You're booting Windows 98 tonight? Oh, man. Made sure to get the 2-year warranty on the board from Micro Center. Nice, 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 nice. A good call. I wonder if that was supposed to stay plugged in. I don't think it mattered. Yeah, I know. It's actually more like a $300 board right now. Yeah, smart move. Oh, the monitor is $229. Yeah, that is a little high, I think, for a 165 hertz monitor, 1440p panel. But all things considered, everything's going up in price, so maybe that is a going price. I don't know. Well, that's hella nice. Nice time. I'm looking for some nice inspection for a mini small PC build for a local event. Okay. We're back to rebooting, guys. So, I'm gonna go into the abyss again. Oh, there we are. Yeah, we went through quite a few cases. Dude. So are you looking for like advice, Uncle Ben? Uncle Ben's? Tony, man, when do you satisfy your itch? Yes, I have to transfer old audio files. Oh man. Windows XP 2. This Gigabyte motherboard? Yes, this is a Gigabyte X870E. Aurorus Elite Wi-Fi 7 revision 1.2. Oops, gotta do the old-fashioned. Yes, I'm installing on an older version so I can still do this. BIOS friendly, yes. BIOS is actually pretty, very much so improved in comparison to Gigabyte BIOS, like on AIM-4. The AIM-5, like when they came out with these AIM-5 boards, they started coming out with Gigabyte Control Center, and I think the software in the BIOS has significantly improved from where it was. Yes, it's a lot better. ASUS is probably still one of the leaders when it comes to BIOS in general, but Gigabyte has significantly improved from where they were. I'll give you a little tour of the BIOS here once we get to that. If you hang out for a bit. If you want to adjust any of that, Anthony, you'll have to go back and do it. I'm just going to leave it default for now. ATC 32-inch curved gaming monitor, 180 hertz, 1ms. That's actually pretty decent. $151, not bad. Steve says he likes the KTC brand. It's actually good to know because I've been looking for a decent, off-brand monitor. I've tried a couple that I have on the bench here. One does some really random stuff when a PC goes to sleep. When the PC goes to sleep, it makes a da-da-dun sound like you're unplugging a USB port for no reason, and it's on that monitor. Or no, when the monitor goes to sleep, it does that, and the PC's still on. So it puts the screen to sleep, and then it makes the disconnect sound through Windows, and then it will sit there and do that over and over and over and over until you wake the monitor up. It's kind of weird. There we are. We have the Windows install. Now let's go ahead and pound out the control center. Installation failed. How wonderful. This is not where I wanted to go. Nope. What the heck? Oh, that is so annoying how it... That's why Google is so much better, by the way. The search engine. So it took me to the revision 1 page. I had to click revision 1.2. You are definitely a good friend, and that friend should be buying you beer for life, I think, yes, or some sort of situation like that. If not beer, maybe some Mountain Dew or Coca-Cola, or maybe you like Reese's, I don't know. I think Windows is trying to install display drivers in the back end, like, because it's obnoxiously flashing the screen here on my end too. Either that, or my capture card does not like the refresh rate attempt. Could be that too. Oh, and now we're going to restart. I did not tell it to do that, I don't think. Did I? Maybe I did. You have a couple of 1440p ZZA. I haven't had any problems with them whatsoever. They're pretty inexpensive. Okay, good to know. Windows blocking downloading. Windows blocking download or Chrome, yes. Not so fast. Did you know Edge is a cool web browser and it's very similar to Chrome? We're cool. I actually did a little YouTube short on that. When I was going to download Chrome, I noticed Edge was like desperately trying to save itself. We're cool too. Oh, thanks. I don't even know what's going on anymore at this point. Generally, I do like to put a single folder on the, on the C drive. Just call it support. This is where I dump all my stuff. It's kind of like my own personal playground inside somebody's PC. No to that. We're going to download those from AMD. We're going to download, well, I'll let it install. No to that, no to that, no to that. The rest of that you can install, if it even lets me. It might not let me do this. Let's see. Come on, come on, man. Come on, go on, get. You have a tight budget of 1,000 max. It's also difficult because you have a different currency than us. In the United States, we have a US dollar. So So it'd be nice to get some advice on it. Yeah, if you'd like, join the Discord channel. We could, if you want to post kind of what you had thoughts, see the download failed. This is one bug from Gigabyte that I hate. The fact that it does this when you first launch it and you try to do the update. It doesn't let you do the update. It says download failed, check your internet, check your internet, check your internet, check your internet. This is absolutely annoying with Gigabyte Control Center, but it only happens when you first install Windows, and I think it has something to do with Windows updates. Go ahead and run this updater tool. Can't remember if there's anything else I had to do here, or just let it do its thing. Yeah. This is for the RGB firmware. Hopefully this solves the RGB issue. He's trying to do an ITX build, so I don't think it's anything too crazy. People over here on YouTube, Uncle Ben's, if you go to the YouTube side of the channel, where I'm live also, they are talking about how 1,000 might get you a 5070 Ti, and then somebody else said, or 64 gigs of RAM. Hey, look at that! Oh, you guys are missing it. Look at this. Look at this. Look. I did that firmware. Look at that. We got RGB now. Look at that. Look at that RGB. What did I tell you? It's like I've dealt with Gigabyte boards before. So we just had to do that firmware upgrade because I think the previous owner dicked around with it and broke it. Or shut it off during the middle of that upgrade. Oh, it's clean. It's pretty clean. So now we gotta finish getting Gigabyte Control Center updated so we can actually start playing around with the RGB. And in order to do that, we are probably gonna have to do these updates on Windows. Nice. Yeah, there's a few updates that we have to do here, so it'll take a second. While we're doing that, we can I thought I had the camera add. We're gonna do this on the fly, guys, so don't freak out. Nope, definitely not that one. Nope. The resolution is so much bigger than the resolution we're on. Oh my gosh, I have to keep resizing this stupid thing with my finger. And I don't know what box I just grabbed, but it was not the right box. I wasn't sure how those fans. Oh, they're nice. Yeah, they're very sharp, so I think you'll like them a lot. Okay, so while this is downloading these updates, we can go ahead and download our drivers from AMD that we're going to install. What else was I going to put on here? Oh yeah, the thermal rate. I can never remember the name of the software. What is the name of the software to download with the Nitro cards? The Trix. Good evening, Army Vet. Welcome back to the Build Show. Tony says, I think it's 80 Adrenaline. Well, there's two different. They have the Trix software, which you could do more with. We already did that one. Why did I do that? Did that. Need to install that. Can't install this until that's done. Extra read all about the AI falls badly. Every computer company has to liquidate to all their parts. Get it while you can. What do you mean by that? I missed the DDR5 boat? Oh yeah, we all did. Loads everything so fast. Yes, it does. Tomorrow's news, RAM prices drop like a stone. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. You could probably sell your RAM and buy a new house, Steve. So this is the Trix software, if you guys have never seen it before. But you have the Trix quote-unquote boost performance profiles that you can, for quick performance. You have the glow, which is the RGB stuff, and then the fan health, which is kind of cool. So you could just start a fan check and see what the fan health is like. But there's a lot of nifty little cool information on this tool. I do like those with the Nitro cards. That goes for any of the Sapphire cards. Not just the Nitro, it could be the other one, the other ones, the Pulse, etc. But a very simple, low resource tool. Doesn't use a ton of resources to run it, which is what I like. But you don't necessarily need that to control the RGB because I did sync up the cable so that you could run it from the Gigabyte Control Center. And so when you change the RGB in your system, you're also changing your card. So it's synced up. It's a very nice experience. All right, so once this is done, these will probably be ready, and then we can reboot and maybe do the Gigabyte Control Center updates that we need to do. Yeah? I hope that thermal rate transfer was done. I didn't check that first. That was dumb. That was dumb. Got some red RGB going here. AMD is glowing red. Supreme Court ruled against Trump tariffs 0.6 to 3 vote. Oh. Yeah, I don't know how I felt about that. The tariffs. But yeah, if Uncle Ben's, if you're still around, definitely join the Discord channel, !Discord in the chat to receive the link. Or use the Streamlabs link there, that's already there. And we could try to help you out with choosing the correct parts list. But it is going to take time for us to figure out the cost difference, because the United States here, it's a little different. But we can help. We can try to help. Tariffs are great. Yeah, they are. It might give some relief to U.S. in tech, or to us in tech. Yeah. Maybe. Nah, I don't. Honestly, I don't see it changing anytime soon. To be honest, it's just. These companies are so greedy. They're always gonna take the money. Money is always going to win. We probably will never have RAM at the price that we had it. September of 2025 is probably the last time you'll ever see RAM at that price again. It's just, the tech boom is happening. It's just gonna stay, the price is just gonna keep going up. It'll plateau for time and maybe come down a little bit, but I don't ever see it going back again. Ever. It would take a significant, all of a sudden, nobody's buying anything event for them to have to bring the price down. Or AI will have to, like, just completely halt that type of event. No more growth on the AI, which is sucking up a ton of our DRAM chips. Yeah, I feel bad that we got a black screen here. It's kind of dull. We were spoiled? Yes, we were very spoiled. But I don't ever see it going back. There's just no feasible way for it to go back. Everybody in the world charges US tariffs? Yeah, I know. And then we don't charge anybody tariffs? I'm just, not everybody, but... where's my Gigabyte Control Center? Oh, there it is. I actually did not read that message. Should have read that message. We don't need AMD driver. Oh, I unchecked that because it's already installed. Very nice. We'll Let's see if it actually installs this time. It is! So this Gigabyte bug with the control center, when you first install Windows, if you don't do like a first wave of Windows updates, it will not do the updates through the Gigabyte control center until you do that, which is so weird. I don't know why that happens. Yes, a huge drop in sales or demand would have to happen for them to drop their prices again. Well, I mean, AI is only going to go so far, and then what? So once this little AI boom is over, I feel like prices will come down, but it won't be the same as before. It'll eventually come down. It'll eventually come down, but not where it was in September of 2025. You know, $120 for 32 gigs. For a really nice 32 gig kit, 6,000, 6,400 megahertz at CL30. I still recall trying to get a video card in 2020 wasn't. Oh yeah, the 3070 Ti, Ian, that's in my computer, my streaming PC that we're streaming off of right now. It is the most expensive 3070 Ti that you've ever heard of. I spent 2,200 or 2,400, I think it was, something like that, on that 3070 Ti, because of all these damn bots that bought them up before I could get to it. And then they'd relist them. The quote-unquote scalpers. It was Bitcoin. Yep. Yes. Yes. That was very, very terrible time. Very terrible time. But it's been in service for a long time, so as I guess if you count all the years that I've had it running, maybe it makes sense, and that's why I haven't upgraded yet, because it was equivalent to me earlier this year or somewhere last year buying a 5090, which is sad. Your wife is Team Green. She kept her 2080 longer than she wanted. Yeah, well, and more people will do that now because of, you know, the cost of things. I have way more service right now for repairs and upgrades than I did before last year, before the price hike. So it kind of flip-flopped on us, right? Now I have just way more service versus new builds, because the new build costs way more than just doing a, you know, an upgrade. So more and more people are, what I'm saying is more and more people are willing to stretch their system out further rather than just, I'll just go get a new build. You know, so that is very noticeable in the field right now. Very noticeable. Good God. Why is it so... I don't know why it's flashing the screen. It must be installing the Adrenaline drivers for the onboard video. And now my capture card is in a frenzy. It does not know what to do. Or it just literally restarted and I did not tell it to. Hello? Hello? Is there anybody there? Huh. Just needed me to unplug it and plug it back in, so that was capture card heartburn. What we'll call that. I was overdue for an upgrade. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you do pick the worst times to do your upgrades, Anthony. But it's okay. This isn't like it's nothing compared to 2020 or 2022. Back then, it was really bad. It is pretty bad right now, but it's not like it was. She now has the RTX 4080, 16 gigabytes. She made it Cleared. It is good. Very good, very good. I still think $800 is good for a 9070 XT. I think it's a little on the higher end price, but doable, yes. Competes with the 5070 Ti at 1,000, yeah. This is all true. This one and the last one, I know. Things are just getting bigger and more expensive too, so it's not like... Still hurt paying $900 for my 4070 back at 23. That's actually not... It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. I'd be, you know, 400-ish over what it should have been. I mean, you could be me and paid $2,200 for a 3070 Ti back in, like, I don't know, it was like 2020 or something like that. 2021. It was absolutely insane. Have you lost mind? Yes, I did. Whoa. I think we're done with the Gigabyte updates. All right. Now we can play with the RGB Fusion. Finery. What do you guys think? Go to a static red? Yeah? For AMD? What do you want, Anthony? What do you want to set this RGB mode to? Whoops. I'll just overpay for a monitor. Red is clean. Okay. He likes the red, guys. Well, we could do the pulse. We could slow it down. Ooh, yeah. Like a heartbeat. Just messing with it. Okay, so we've got the RGB working. We could play with this a little later. But we'll see what that message was that popped up earlier that I disregarded. We have a good drive health on the drive, which is good. That's the Samsung Magician software. Jeez, what else do I have left? Oh yeah, I have to do the AMD Adrenaline. Oh yeah, and the thermal rate. You're right. You're right. The thermal rate. Tomorrow's the last day I can return my 5070 Ti. I don't know why I don't want to do it. I got the 5080. Yeah, just return it. Well, if you don't return it and it still has a problem, send it back to ASUS, get the RMA, because that'll still be good for what, 2 years, 3 years? RMA it with ASUS and then get a replacement card from them. Could be even a brand new card. Yep. I got the Thermalright software right here that we're installing. Let's see if this works. Of course, it's in the middle of the driver update, so... Might have to unplug the screen and plug it back in. That is a effect of the capture card. Yes. Let's see, do we have any red, animated red? Ooh, fun. These look fun. All the different overlays we could play with. Oh, you wanted pink, that's right. Right, he wanted kind of like a pink. Yeah. More like that one. Let's throw the... Alright, let's reboot it. We needed the reboot after that driver update. Yes, 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 you have 4 cards. Just return it. Or send it back to AMD. Or Asus. I keep saying AMD. I have Thermalright AIO. I put a lively wallpaper on it of Judy from Cyberpunk. And now I can't take her off, of course. It'll make me feel bad. I hear you. Well, guys, let's see what she can do. Wait for it. There's a weird bug with the Adrenalin, newer Adrenalin software in this benchmark. When it first starts up, it does that. But here we are. hovering around 300 plus FPS. Not breaking a sweat. Fans haven't even kicked on. There you go. We done did it. We just have to activate Windows and finish the Windows updates. And then it's good to go. If you really wanted to, you could probably pick it up tonight. To be honest, Anthony, if you really wanted to. I don't care. If you're excited enough to drive over here and pick it up, and you wanted to, I would tell you in about a half hour I could have it ready. Beast. It is a beast, and it is running very nicely. Okay, side view. Here we go. Of the back of the monitor. There we go. There she is, in all her glory. I think Anthony wants to come get it tonight. I don't blame you. Thank you. You're welcome, dude. It's good to go, I'd say. I just have to activate Windows and finish up some of the updates. Oh, and I have to set XMP and make sure Secure Boot's enabled. Other than that, it is good to go. So, looks good. We'll kill the stream here, and I'll finish this up so Anthony can come get this. I know he was super stoked to have it today. I told him tomorrow, but getting it earlier is even better. Buy land, yes. And doing the whole investment in land is a good idea as long as you buy it somewhere where it will be utilized. You know, if you buy somewhere like in the UP for Michigan, for an example, it's just that land may never be utilized, at least in our lifetimes. Or developed, so to speak. Yes, congratulations, Anthony, and you did an excellent job putting it together. All I had to do is put the GPU in and finagle a couple of cables here and there and deal with the RGB. Other than that, I think you would have gotten it just fine. Almost build my homes. Always. Oh, gotcha. Nice. Well, that's it from us tonight, guys. We have Anthony's PC built. It is up and running. We've figured out the RGB issue. We installed the graphics card. We installed the SSD. Got Windows installed. Did all the drivers. I do have a few things that I want to wrap up on this before he shows up. He's going to come pick it up tonight, it sounds like. And that's it for me tonight. Next build show. I've got a few inventory builds to do here. I've got 3 to build, 1 to finagle with, and then I still have a lot of open loop stuff action going in the background here, which is taking up a lot of my time after hours. I'd love to stream that. It's just I don't really have a good setting for it, for camera position, because it takes so much maneuvering. I have it on a very open table that I can basically walk around it for the most part while I'm working on it. And this position over here does not allow me to do that. I do have plans in the future to set up a different stream station so we can stream from that. That's basically happening after I get an upgraded PC. I'll have 2 maybe 2 stream PCs that I could stream from either one, and or set it up so that the one can handle both setups. But that is in the making in the future here. So, but that's it for me tonight, guys. Thanks for joining us with Anthony's build. We'll see you on the next build show. Have a good weekend. What are you still doing here? Go play some games. And Anthony, come get your PC.